Welcome back to Hunter x Hunter Anime Review. This is special number 14. This is reviewing the 385 chapters in the manga. Warning. Starts off with pretty much almost the whole chapter takes place in one room. In room 1004. We see two individuals. One is, I believe, one of the princes. Yeah, where he chests out his nen, they call it Zensu. And I should point out, though, in this chapter, I just finished reading it, there are no familiar characters this whole chapter. I mean, there's nobody. Yeah, we see the creature show up at the end of the last chapter. Yeah, this prince is Nen Beast. No characters I'm personally familiar with anyway, so a lot of the characters like the new to original arc. Yeah, this whole chapter takes place in this one room. Yeah, trying to show off this Nen Beast. At one point, one of the prince's bodyguards takes out a gun. Yeah. The guard in the room takes out looks like a Glock, tells him to just try to shoot him, and he shoots him right in the head. Ouch! And lands on the ground. There's this brief illusion, and then poof, like sort of like Prince Basilius losing, like nope, and the prince is fine, perfectly standing right behind him. No bullet hole in his head. That was weird. Well, that one, then you didn't flinch when you fire the gunshot. Yep, taking things a little too far. And of course, Nen Beast briefly talks to him, says, "You answered the question falsely, you see as a human." It's like, time flew by, yes. I'm sure you know it's the gunshot. And you see, like, kind of just again, and then apparently the guy gets sort of knocked out. Wakes up in, I would say, his room, a bunk bed, anyways. And this guy has got a scar on his face. Yep, a scar. And they talk for pretty much the rest of the chapter. Like, figure out, like, the resting. So, like, apparently this guy was out for, like, 15 minutes. And that's it. Wow. I was kind of disappointed with this chapter. I kind of thought maybe we'd see a familiar face because I like it when the series we have a familiar face show up. This chapter is just an entire thing taking place in room 1004, which has been kind of hinted as a room where time progresses at a different rate in this room. We have a prince getting shot and some reaction. That much is it. Yeah, I got through this chapter pretty quickly. In just a span of about 5 minutes, it was a pretty quick read. I don't think there's anything wrong with the chapter. It's just that, I was expecting a little more interesting than a guy who fires a gunshot one of the princes, and then next panel the prince is perfectly fine, despite the fact having a bullet hole in his head. He got shot in the head right in like a third eye, whatever. And he comes up perfectly fine. Apparently his Zensu is just some kind of illusion. Yeah, it's really weird. And I'm like, what was the whole point of this chapter? Seriously. It wasn't a terrible chapter per se. It's just I felt disappointed, especially since there were no familiar characters. No Kurapika, no Fan of the Troop, no Biscuit, no Leorio. Nobody. It's just an entire chapter taking place in that room with very little happening. Well, 2 chapters in a row and not much happens in these 2 chapters. Last chapter was full of lots and lots of dialogue. This one, I'm glad the fact he trimmed down the dialogue, which I think that was an improvement. Yeah, trimming down the amount of dialogue because he put way too much in the last chapter. This one, a little better, but I kind of felt as though there should be a little more happening. And for the love of God, where's Kurapika? There's like there's no reason why he couldn't appear in this chapter. Yeah, it's really weird. I'm gonna give this chapter roughly might be nice. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's just disappointment. That's basically all it is. It's a disappointing chapter. After 2 chapters back where it was actually quite interesting, and this one, not interesting at all. It's just okay. Okay, I know it's kind of a short review, but yeah, that's really it for this one. Stay tuned for I get a chance to do my review of JoJo Bizarre Adventures, okay? But do you see you next review. Bye.